With Easter celebrations right around the corner, I wanted to share some of the baking I'll be doing to make sure that the day is more about the celebration and less about me stressing out over food. It doesn't matter what the celebration is, there's always two things that seem to stress me out the most: cleaning the house and preparing the food. So, today I wanted to talk about my plan for making sure that Easter is less stressful for me regarding the food. The first thing I plan on doing is making a quiche that I prepare the night before. An egg casserole would work here too, but for some reason my girls love quiche, probably the pie crust. This is my favorite pie crust recipe. I don't add any sweetener to it. You could add sweetener if you were planning on using it for a dessert, but even when I do that, I normally do not add any sweetener. It's light and flaky and so delicious. The quiche filling can really be anything that you want it to be. But for us, I will be doing 6 eggs, 3/4 cup of milk, 1 pound of sausage, a half an onion, and 1 to 1.5 cups of spinach, and then I'll just sprinkle in some goat cheese. If you're interested, I will add the pie crust recipe in the description box below. The hilarious thing about this quiche recipe is my youngest daughter swears that she doesn't like onions, the middle daughter doesn't like spinach, and my oldest daughter doesn't like eggs. However, when I prepare this quiche, they all eat it very cheerfully and ask for more. The next thing I'm going to do to help make Easter celebrations easier is to make sourdough strawberry shortcake biscuits. The way I like to make these is with whole wheat einkorn flour. However, you do not have to use einkorn flour. You can use any kind of flour. I just like to use that because it has so many more vitamins and minerals than all-purpose flour. I know einkorn flour is very expensive. I have a spot here locally that the Amish sell whole wheat einkorn flour for 50% less than I can get it anywhere else. And even then, it's the most expensive flour that I buy. So, if einkorn isn't something that you're interested in, do not let that scare you. This recipe will work with literally any kind of flour and it will turn out delicious. Not to mention, all purpose flour will probably make these biscuits a little fluffier than the whole wheat einkorn. The other thing I love about this shortcake recipe is that I do not add any sugar. The only sweetener I use for these biscuits is pure maple syrup. As a family, we are trying really hard to satisfy our sweet tooth with recipes that do not have a bunch of sugar in them. A lot of times, I'll find a recipe and I will reduce the amount of sugar up to 50% from what the original recipe said that it required. But these sourdough strawberry shortcake biscuits are perfect. They are very, very sweet, and yet they do not have any of the processed sugar in them. I'll add a link in the description box below for this sourdough strawberry shortcake recipe. Another thing that I will do is make homemade whipped cream, which is kind of crazy that it took me 36 years to realize that whipped cream is called whipped cream because it's cream that has been whipped. I told my husband the other day that I just realized this, and he started laughing at me. Like, how did I make it 36 years and not realize why we call it whipped cream? Anyway, with homemade whipped cream, I can sweeten it with pure maple syrup and vanilla, and it will taste just as good, if not better, than the whipped cream that I could buy at the store. And all of these things are things I will make ahead. So I will make the biscuits and the whipped cream, and I will cut the strawberries all the day before we head out for our celebration. That way, we'll come home from church, grab all of the things, load up in the car, and head straight there. There will be nothing to prepare the day of, and it will be a lot less stressful. This homemade vanilla coconut granola is a staple in our house. We don't buy any boxed cereal for the girls, so this is their equivalent. And again, I do not add any sugar to this recipe to make it sweet. Just maple syrup, coconut oil, and sometimes if I'm feeling a little extra, I will add dried cranberries. And this flies off of the shelves at our house. I was actually telling my husband the other day that I'm pretty sure I could make this recipe 2 or 3 times a week, and I would still discover that we were out of granola on Sunday when I was taking inventory on what's in the pantry. This is another delicious make-ahead snack that pairs perfectly with homemade yogurt and strawberries. Soon I'll have a blog post all about this vanilla coconut granola, but until then, I'll just share it in the description box below. This coming weekend, we plan on jumping in and really working on cleaning up the mess that the flood left us with. So, if for some reason I do not get my next video out on time, just be patient with me and understand that we are working to get this mess cleaned up because pretty soon it's going to be time to put our cows out on pasture, and we need this mess cleaned up and the fences put back up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video inspired you and gave you some ideas for some recipes that you can use so that your Easter morning is a little less stressful this year. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you next time.